I figure 3 flavors is a better choice than 4. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I really don't. I just I just put 3 up there. Better than crunchy vapor though. Am I right? Then why not just that one choice? Bucho's Kiwi Butt Surprise. Speaking of butt surprise, okay, you know what? Screw it. Okay, so hi, Order 42. I'm Rob. Oh, look, we're a bit early, but hey, I want to talk about this. I'm one of those people that I'm very descriptive when it comes to words. A lot of times, like I it's it's one of those things. I can say things and people visualize what I'm saying. If that makes sense. I'm good at that. I'm a good descriptor, I guess. So, have you ever said anything that once you say it, you're immediately like, that's disgusting? And it, like, I remember, okay, first off, hi, everybody. Cosma, JX Editor, Ted Milich, Phil Holland. Uh, thank you guys for being here. Ricky, I know, Ricky says happy early birthday. It's on Thursday, but thank you for the early birthday things. Oh, by the way, I need to tweet this. Bam. Live now. Come hang out. Pants optional. It's just how we're rolling tonight. I mean, I'm not wearing any pants, so why should you? Anyway, Magnus, welcome. Welcome, Magnus. But no, have you ever said something and that you just kind of go, ew? No? Have you ever said no? Just me? These are the words I said, okay? 2 words. You ready? I said it. It made me grimace, and then I started laughing because it was just like, what? Juicy poop. No? Am I the only one that's ever done that? That's ever said something that just made me like, no. Magnus says, did you ever play the game Half-Life on PC? I am going through Half-Life 1 and 2 with MMO Scab Butter. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good I feel like I can smell that one. You know? That's a good one. That's a good one. Scab butter. Oh, that's great. That's funny though. Sorry. Did you ever play the game Half-Life on PC? I'm going through Half-Life 1 and 2 with MMO and cinematic mod. It's great. No, I haven't. I don't have a PC that can play games well. I just want some pants, a decent pair of pants. Solomon Grundy want pants too. There you go. Berry butt blast. That sounds like a flavor that could be a vape flavor. Look at this. We're look 3 ways, a 3-way tie right now. See, this is why I only choose 3 flavors, because if we had 4 flavors, then there might be a 4-way tie, and you don't want that. You don't want that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, search that on YouTube. Solomon Grundy, that's from the Batman animated series, right? Skunk vape, black anus cake. Those are I mean, I take it back. Those are pretty bad. Cinnamon cream vanilla dream. Hey, that actually sounds like actual vaping flavor. Here's the ones, okay? Grapple berry, right? Berry, the raspberry cake batter. Both of those were from last week. Super Friends. Okay. Okay. And then lastly, but not leastly, I don't think those are words. Sour chew. And this is supposed to be a mixture of apple and grape. And I would assume is a sour chew. Roach fillet? That is a good one. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. By the way, last week you guys picked, or was it last week or the week before? Cinnamon bun. Um, and remember there was a funky taste, right? The funky taste completely went away. Actually, by the end of the stream, the funky taste went away. But I got to tell you, that is a flavor. It's in there. That is a flavor that you cannot vape very much of all at once. And what I mean is, like, there'll be times like this one right here. This one's the, what is it? Apple, grape, berry, what, acai, whatever. This one is one of those where I can just vape it all day long and it doesn't bother me. This one is Pawpaw's chocolate finger. That's a bad one. That's a bad one for sure. But that cinnamon bun is so cloyingly sweet and it's rich. It's got a richness to it. To just vape that over and over, it's a lot. So I'm still vaping it, but it is not, I'm not vaping it as much as the other ones. It's like I take like 2 or 3 vapes and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. The funky taste is also the name of a failed breakdancing group. Okay. Well, Wraith, welcome. Smegma pie. What was the Kessel Run in Star Wars? Han Solo talks about the Kessel Run. Is that in Solo? It is. But it's I mean, maybe a bit, JX. Maybe a little bit. But still. That's pretty bad. No, the Kessel Run is, I think it's a smuggling, like, I think it was originally oh bad. Well, I mean, I enjoyed a lot of Solo. Solo isn't perfect, but I enjoyed a lot of it. But originally, I think in Legends, the Kessel Run was a competition, and the competition is to make the Kessel Run, which is, I think originally it was a series of like drops, like smuggling drops. Like, here, I'm going to deliver it to this, and if you did it in 12 parsecs, like, a lot of people would do it in longer than that because it took them longer to do the Kessel Run. If you do it in 12 parsecs, that's a very short amount of time. And so, under 12 parsecs. Wow. You know what I mean? So it was like, that was a boasting thing. Now, was that what Lucas actually had in mind, in 1975 writing this? I don't know. Or 76 probably. I don't know. I don't know. Because the whole idea is that parsecs is a distance. So the whole idea is we made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. A lot of people said, well, maybe it's because Han Solo's an idiot and he's trying to make it sound like he's awesome. And parsecs might sound like a length of time instead of a distance. I think they changed it, or they what is it called? Retrocon kind of thing, where they retrocon. That's not right. Anyway, basically they made it where it was a competition, and if you did it in a short amount of time, it was more impressive, and because the ship is fast and blah blah blah. There you, retcon. Thank you. I was like, retrocon. That doesn't sound right. Retcon. Yes. And Bucho. Look at that. Bucho's here. You see him? Wave high. He can't wave back, but he can get out of here. He can smack me, and then I can push him out of the way. You get back here. Get out of here. All right. Anyway, look, I don't know if you noticed, if anybody watches beat 'em ups, but apparently he's got some Dr. Disrespect level production values in his streams now. Kind of interesting. But anyway, let me see. Wait. Have you ever watched the timeline videos on YouTube? It's a wonderful series of videos that chronicle the events of past years, such as the 80s or 90s. No, I have not. Sounds interesting, though. Solo was utterly inoffensive. Yeah, what did I say? I think before I said it was, I mean, this is just another term. It wasn't something I used for Solo, because I actually enjoyed Solo. I had no, what do you call it? No preconceived notions about what the show or what the movie would be. So I had a good time. But I said about other things that things are aggressively mediocre. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I didn't like the lead in Solo, speaking for myself and no one else. Well, Phil, that's enough. You speaking for yourself is quite enough. Just kidding. Similar to Lightyear. Utterly inoffensive. I still haven't seen Lightyear. Meanwhile, the Kissel Run is a track from the Jerky Boys' third album. Yes, it is. Kissel. Don't matter what Georgia had in mind, he sold Star Wars for a load of cash. That he did. Why am I seeing retracted messages? I always want to read those. Can I read those? No, I can't. Legends Kessel Run. There you go. Required maneuver. Why am I having such a problem with today's chat? Legends Kessel Run required maneuvering past black holes, so if your ship was fast, you could get closer to them and escape. So therefore, the shorter the distance, the faster the ship. Bam. Couldn't have said it better, JX. In fact, I didn't say it better. You totally said it better than I did. Sour Chew. Hey. And look, right now, Grapleberry is winning 45%. Sour Chew in second place. Okay, wait. Grapleberry's winning 45%. In second place, Sour Chew. Apple and grape fruit chew, I'm guessing. And then in last place, yet again, raspberry cake batter. Hey. There you go. Ricky says that Lightyear was boring. Okay. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I'm a sucker for sour things, and I wish that joy on Rob. I enjoyed the sour stuff too. Pre-birthday, Robbie. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Is Beat 'em Ups Wood? If so, I watched his PSVR 2 review. Excellent, and won't be buying it thanks to Wood's review. Yeah, Wood is Wood used to live in this area. And so because I am friends with the Game Chasers, I got to meet Wood and GameSack and all those guys when we were doing the movie. And I miss Wood. But I'm very proud of him. He seems to be doing better now, with after the move and stuff like that. And I hope the best for him. And like I said, I think his streams are, he's really the production values on his stream are really cool. So he's streaming right now. And if you don't go watch him. He's on Twitch. You don't want to be on Twitch. I'm just kidding. And he also got the new OLED. Yeah, I'm curious how he got that. Like, is it someone that works at a production house and that he got that? I'm not sure. Parsecs are similar to light years? Maybe. What about Sour Patch cereal? Those retracted messages are asking for sexy times with Rob. Oh. Okay, then. If that OLED was nice, then I would get it, but I just don't like the way it looks. And Carbonite, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to all on this strange pre-birthday stuff. You want to see some of the birthday stuff that I've got this week or last week? I mean, some of you have already seen it. If you're in the Discord, then you've already seen some of this stuff. But first up, Bilbo's last song. When I saw this, I was thinking, I don't have that. I need it. It's a Tolkien book. I need it. Didn't know that it was Ranger Crosshair just subscribed. Welcome, Ranger Crosshair. In fact, that didn't why didn't the audio come through? Oh, I have it muted. Oh. Sorry about that. I had it muted because I was doing something earlier. Sorry. But yeah, I didn't know it was this tiny. And it's literally a poem. It's literally a poem with illustrations. Not the best purchase, I got to be honest, but I didn't know. But now I have it and now I don't have to wonder. The next one is another Tolkien book I didn't have, Tree and Leaf. This is, of course, on fairy stories, Mythopia. So basically, there are a bunch of fairy stories and stuff like that. Stuff that's, important for the creation of Lord of the Rings. It's a very short book, but I needed it. Got it. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed the Criterion sale last week, but there was a sale on Criterion a single day. And so I bought some movies. First up, this is a movie that it was on my wish list, and I can't remember why I wanted to see it, but somebody made me think, yes, I want to watch that. I looked for it on streaming, it wasn't available, so I said, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Until the End of the World. It's just a cool looking cover. William Hurt. It's a science fiction epic, decades in the making. We'll see. The next one is going to be a rough watch, I know. It's called Come and See. This is apparently a Russian movie. And it's supposedly about the horrors of war. Again, want to watch it. Wasn't available on streaming. Bought it. The next one is Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious. This one is also not available on streaming anywhere. Not available to purchase even digitally. I'm a big Hitchcock fan. I like watching his movies. Going through his entire thing, even the earlier, like almost like the one is a silent movie that I watched. What was that one? Anyway, interesting seeing a career. But yeah, Ingrid Bergman. Is that Cary Grant? Cary Grant, Claude Rains. It's from 1946. But hey, there you go. So birthday stuff. It's not the most, maybe not the most exciting stuff, but you know what? It's exciting for me. Retract votes and vote sour. Yeah, the OLED here. Where is that? It is here. Look, man, I gotta be honest. I'm excited. I'm excited for the game. The game looks good. And it's weird seeing like Billy tweet out that, yeah, I guess I'm skipping another Zelda. And I'm like, really? Because it looks fun to me. It looks really fun. But hey, here's the OLED. I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care about it. I just don't. And the reason I don't care about it is because, well, it's just not for me. It's not for me. That is totally not for me. Because the thing is I play it docked. So I don't really care. And then also announced were the Switch Pro controller and the case, which are apparently available now to pre-order. I don't need them. I really don't need them. Even the Pro controller, as cool as that looks, I don't know if I need it. So if it's available once it comes out, maybe. But right now, I'm not going to worry about pre-ordering myself. But there you go. There you go. Now I'm way behind. on the chat. So let's see what's going on here. Uh Me and my dad saw John Wick 4 on opening night. The film was too violent and cartoonish. It was exhausting. Wow. Wow. That's the first I've heard that. I've heard it was like really, really good. I'm way behind, by the way. And a lot of people seem to like that John Wick movie. So, yeah. Kind of weird pronunciation of Grapelberry you got there, Rob. Seems to me the short A would make more sense given the PP. Grappleberry? Yeah, but you don't eat graps. You eat grapes, right? I would say Grapelberry. In fact, I do say Grapelberry. But there you go. And what are we at? 38%. Oh, a tie. Right now it's a tie between Grapelberry and Sour Chew. Between the two smaller bottles. So remember, as Grim Green likes to say, if you don't vote today, then you don't get to vote. Funky. It's funky. All right? He actually sings it, but okay, I'll sing it. If you don't vote today, then you don't get to vote. Funky. That's what he does. Just saying, that's what he does. Not me. That's what Grim Green does. Wood said the PSVR 2 is essentially a tech demo at the moment, so we should hold back. It explains why the launch is so low-key and quiet. Absolutely. Ranger Crosshair, hey man, happy pre. Have you seen the trailer for Kenobi Trials of the Master? I know you love fan edits, and this is on another level. Would love to see your reaction on this. Kenobi Trials of the Master. What is this? I'm going to make a note of it. Kenobi Trials of the... Oops. I spelled trials wrong. I will check that out. I will check that out. The thing is, I enjoy fan edits. I do. My biggest issue right now is number one, I don't want to get in trouble for talking about them. I don't think I can get in trouble for them. But the other thing is, I'm getting to that point where the more I watch, the more I'm seeing the same patterns. And really what it comes down to in most fan edits is that it's, okay, I didn't like this part, so I'm going to take that out. But when you take something out, you might be taking something out that someone else might enjoy. So it's a tough thing, you know, because sometimes, I enjoyed this fan edit of, like, The Hobbit, for example, is how I got started into the fan edits, like reviewing them. And some of them took out stuff that I really liked. And then some of it left in stuff that I didn't like. So it was kind of like, it's really just, it's subjective. It's completely subjective. That being said, I think M4 probably has the best one. I watched pieces of it again and was like, wow, that's really well done. And we're talking about changing existing scenes, putting some overlays over on top of it to change it and stuff like that. It was really, really well done. But hey, with Kenobi, that's another one because I honestly don't know how you would leave stuff in because there's so much cringy stuff for fan edits, but or for Kenobi. It's a weird one. And as much as I liked parts of Kenobi, there were a lot of parts I just didn't like. No, it's Bilbo. B with a B, not a D. Bilbo. Bilbo Baggins. Right. Is it a songbook? No, it's poetry. It's basically a poem. One poem. Like I thought it was like a long, I'm talking about Bilbo's Bilbo's last song. It's a poem. And what's funny is I saw a poster with the entire poem on it. It's like 16 lines. So like I said, this is, I mean, a little bit of a waste of money, to be honest, but I think it was $9. So not that big of a deal. Um, but it's not like, oh, I got to set aside time to get through this one. No, this one's going to be pretty quick. Tree and Leaf. A book on it's fairy tales. Did I say fairies? Fairy tales, because that's Tolkien talks a lot about fairy tales and how the more we get into I mean, I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I haven't read all of his stuff, especially when it comes to, being studious and things like that, and knowing about the history of literature and stuff like that. But he says the more technologically advanced that a society can get, they lose sight of things like fairy tales and things like that can enrich people's lives and teach morals and all that kind of thing. But fairy tales, he kind of drew a lot from fairy tales and like the big epic, like poems like Beowulf and things like that when he was writing Lord of the Rings. So being the studious Tolkien nerd that I am, that's one of the things that I wanted to read, because it's got, oh, I covered it up. It's got it's called On Fairy Stories, and it's basically a lecture that he did at Oxford talking about fairy tales are not just for children, as anyone who has read Tolkien will know. In his essay On Fairy Stories, Tolkien discusses the nature of fairy tales and fantasy and rescues the genre from those who would relegate it to juvenilia. Yeah. So anyway. So yeah, I love that. It's sort of like, to me it's like reading this or watching the special features of a movie, or listening to some director or whoever, writer, talking about their influences. What did they grow up reading? What did they, what did they assimilate so then they could write this story? And I think it's fun. I would have gotten the Evil Dead trilogy for your birthday, leather bound edition. Whoa. You just want to see it because some men just want to watch the world burn. I enjoy all types of war movies. I always have. I guess that's a weird thing for some people to say, like for me to say, but I just enjoy war movies. But I enjoy the more thoughtful ones too. So like one of my favorite, like it's probably in the top 2, is a movie called The Thin Red Line. Terrence Malick, and it's sort of like the antithesis of Saving Private Ryan. It's much more subdued and like what it's like to be in war. And so I'm really interested to see this, and yeah, and no on the Hurt movie. Yeah. Got to be in the right mood for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not exactly, let's pop some popcorn and sit down, turn the lights down and, enjoy a movie. But that's the thing. Movies can be many things. It's art. And yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, there you go. See, oh Christ, come and see. Careful with that one, Rob. Grim Watch. I saw it on YouTube. It is a rough movie. Good, but makes you sad. Yeah. Man, I'm so far behind. Holy crap, you guys are just like chatting. I hate how Nintendo can't even include a code for the digital copy of Tears of the Kingdom along with the system. Well, then they would have to be what, $420? Mario movie or Zelda Tears? Jazz, welcome. Do I have to pick between the Mario movie and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? I mean, I'd pick Tears of the Kingdom, like no question. In fact, almost any game related thing, I'd pick Zelda. I just would. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way the system looks, but again, I have a problem buying what's basically an upgrade to the handheld part of the Switch. I don't handheld, so there you go. Okay, wait. Is that I'm guessing that's FDR sued the U.S. government in the 50s for blowing up their factories in Germany. Wait, what is FRD? FRD during World War II and one. I'm not sure. Limited edition systems are rarely available at launch. Damn scalpers. Ford. Gotcha. Gotcha, Ted. Sorry, I didn't see it till later. Pixel Joker's work is outstanding. Oh, is this for that Kenobi? Oh, okay. You don't eat apples, you eat apples. Oh, okay. So you're taking, see, to me, I think if you've got grape first, then that's the forward flavor. So that deserves the thing. Again, I mean, look, you pick how you want to say it. Right now, Grappleberry or Grapleberry is winning 40%. Second place is Sour Chew at 33%. And way back in the back, 27% for baked raspberry cake batter. And Murdoch 86, sorry, I am so far behind, but welcome. Trust me, man, just watch it. Looks incredibly promising. Okay, well, I've got it on the list. Apples, Graples. The only fan edits I like are the ones who add in the extended or deleted scenes without removing anything. Yeah, but see, those are fine. But for me, it's gotten to that point, like I said about fan edits, real quick, is that fan edits to me, if they don't transform the work, then it's really just a matter of, okay, well, what are they going to take out that I'm going to like, and what are they going to leave in that I don't like? And then at that point, it's really just so subjective that there's no point in doing a review on it, if that makes sense. And that's how I feel, is that like, I watched all of those different Hobbit fan edits and I'm like, look, all of them have their benefits and all of them have the pros and cons, right? So it's kind of like at that point, you're reviewing the work that they did, the skill in which they edited things. And at that point, it feels like that's not my job. It's not how I feel like to me, if it transforms it, that's where it gets interesting. Like when I did that one where they mixed Prometheus and Alien Covenant together and re-edited things and jumped around, and that was interesting because it felt like a brand new way of looking at things, and it was neat. But when you're literally just, I'm going to put this deleted scene in because I like it. Okay. What if I think it's not worthy? At that point, it's just a subjective thing, and at that point, I don't feel the value in me reviewing it, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. Like how your toilets flush upward instead of downward like they do here in the southern hemisphere. That's true. That is absolutely true. In fact, that's why we say throw up, because we're throwing up into the toilet. What? Be interesting to see how Kenobi stands up on rewatch. Hope and Chris from J Guys and Jedi just did their rewatch and said it's way better the second time around. Really? Okay. I wonder where they stood beforehand. You know what I mean? It is hot in here. Speaking of fairy tales, did you know Humpty Dumpty was a canon? A canon. I wanted a fan edit of Solo where they deep faked Harrison Ford's face and AI the voice the whole movie, but people said it would be a Herculean task that would take months. Absolutely. That would not be easy. But it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see that. I don't know, man. I just enjoyed that movie. I don't know. I picked up something on the junk market, a book called The Hobbit Companion by David Day, illustrations by Lydia Postma. Never seen it before. Google it. I have seen those. In the Tolkien fan base, I would say the really like the serious Tolkien collectors and things like that, they tend to look at David Day as just someone who's just a fan. And the problem is a lot of his stuff got taken as, oh, this is what he meant. This is what Tolkien meant when he wrote this, when literally it's just all conjecture. So there's a lot of that. And I'm not saying that book is bad or good or anything like that, but that's what people say, is that you have to be very weary when you're reading David Day versus reading something that's actually Tolkien. Is that their suggestions would be steer clear of David Day until you've read Tolkien. And so you know what Tolkien actually meant. And then when it comes along and somebody's kind of taking, it's kind of like when they say, oh, well, that the ring in Lord of the Rings, the ring is allegory for nuclear weapons. And Tolkien's like, no, I started writing Lord of the Rings before there were nuclear weapons. So no. And then he also takes a stance that allegory is something that he's not interested in. Because if you write the story well enough, you can attribute whatever you want to characters or situations or whatever, and it means something to you, to your life. If you're writing something for the purpose of tying it into something that actually happened or whatever, then you lose that ability to make it universal, basically. Does that make sense? I think that's what he was trying to say. But then again, I'm just a dude on the internet talking crap. So, but that's how I look at it. Anyway, that's way too long for me to spend talking about David Day. That's what they're doing for Indy 5? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Humpty Dumpty is a great example. What do you think of the Evil Dead movies? I've never seen Army of Darkness all the way through. I have seen Evil Dead 1 and 2. I enjoy them, but they're not something that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like some people are. Like Evil Dead Rise, I go, yeah, probably watch it at some point. But I'm not going to like rush out and... Do you eat appetizers or appetizers? That's a good question. And now we're tied again. I was just about to say, we need to go ahead and pick. But now we're tied again. Damn it. They looked for gold teeth in their decapitated heads, then boiled the skin off them and hung the skulls around their camps as ornaments. What? Huh? No, I don't skip anything. I want to read what you people are saying. This message was at 7:29. Okay, I'm only 7 minutes behind. I'm sorry, guys. If you take the time to put something in chat, I kind of want to read it. I feel like it's important. According to a number of military historians, Humpty Dumpty was the name of a cannon used by the Royalists during the English Civil War. I did not know that. I see you need to end the poll. I say you need to end the poll and start a new one for 1 minute. 2 choices. Okay. All right. I'll do that in just a minute once I'm caught up. I say you need... yeah. It was stationed on the walls of Colchester to keep Parliament's army from taking the city. However, the parliamentary forces heavily damaged the walls between it with their own artillery, at which point Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Interesting. I did not know this. One big egg, a lot of protein. The book was 20p, Rob. 27. Oh, well then, Phil, buy it. Like I think the problem where people get into it is that there's this really good looking set that looks similar to that one. That one that you can't see. I am wearing pants. I'm just saying I'm wearing pants. This set, it looks similar to this, but it's a David Day set, and people were like, oh, I'm going to buy that. And then they realized this is not exactly, 332. 2055. What the hell? There's nothing in the rhyme that explicitly says egg. I like the Alien box set behind you. Are you a bigger fan of Alien or Aliens? Well, that is not a box set. That is the NECA Alien. So I've got the Alien 3 here, right here, tickling his arm there. That is a boxed Alien. Do you need to see it? Should I show you? So that it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but yeah, this is I'm a huge Alien fan. Uh in general, I have this guy. Why is that? What was that sound? Oh, it's the sticker on the bottom. But yeah, I love me some Alien. But this that's about to go up on the shelf. But what was I gonna say? Both that Alien there and this was given to me, given it was given to me and purchased for me by William Chaser. Uh yeah. They just gave me. He's like, I don't have any room for this Alien 3 NECA thing. Do you want it? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, okay, take it. So I took it with my hands. And then he bought me this in California. So there you go. I am definitely today, I'm a bigger fan of Alien, not Aliens. Aliens is great. It is one of the best mixtures of science fiction and action. Great characters. I love it. But to me, Alien is like, it's hard for me to talk about what I think are perfect movies. I think Alien may be close to perfect for me. It's just I love it. I've seen it so many times. I love it so much. And it's so original, and I have to give it to Alien. Even though Aliens, James Cameron took this idea and took it to a level that, holy crap, 7 years later, I mean, it's amazing. You have this Alien box set? Yeah. I hope they come out with a 4K one once James Cameron gets off his ass and does the Aliens. But the problem is with Aliens, if you've watched it on Blu-ray, the multiple scenes of rear projection look dated, like really dated. And I just don't think that he's a fan of what 4K, what Blu-ray even, what it does to that image and makes it absolutely obvious that they're literally running in front of a big giant movie screen. So, yeah. But to me, Alien is seriously, and it's part of the reason why in my Ridley Scott review-a-thon, I still haven't reviewed it because I've got books to read that I want to read before I do the review so I can give information that few people know about Alien. I don't want to just go Alien's great because of Ian Holm and Yaphet Kotto, and I don't even know if that's how you say his name. And because of Harry Dean Stanton and Veronica Cartwright and Sigourney Weaver and Tom Skerritt and who am I missing? John Hurt. But no, there's more to it than that, and I want to get into the making of it and stuff like that, and the conception of it, and I think that's I mean, when you get into some of that, boy, some of it is like, wow. The Beer Chasers, what's up, man? It's been a while. Good to see you. But yeah, sorry, Alien's awesome. Alien Cubed was a masterpiece. Are you talking about Alien 3? Or is Alien Cubed an actual, like a fan edit or something? Top Who is in your top 3 cinematic aliens? Don't take it out. NECA is notorious for breaking at least heated up first with a hairdryer if you do. I didn't know that. No, I was going to leave it boxed. That one. And that guy, since he's already out, I just posed him and left him there. The alien in Prometheus, LOL. Yeah. But I think that's so frustrating too, because there are moments of Prometheus that are absolute genius. Absolute genius. Cinematic, just genius. And then there are moments where a scientist tries to pet what looks like a snake. So it's weird. But good to see you, man. Alien Cubed is Alien 3. Just look at the logo and tell me it shouldn't be cubed. No, yes. I totally get you, but I didn't know if you meant something else. Also, I'm using the word masterpiece ironically. I like the director's cut a lot. Or the... What did they call it? Did they call it the assembly cut? Because I really like that. But yeah. Just keep missing you on the stream times. Been working on a new music EP, so been a busy beaver. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that. Good stuff. Why don't you think Ridley Scott made a better script for Prometheus? Well, it wasn't Ridley Scott's script, right? It was John Spates, then it was Damon Lindelof. And then when they get... I honestly think that if you have problems with Prometheus, you can only point so much to the writing. You have to look at that, what the director brought to the table. And I think, oh God, look at the votes. Son of a... Okay. All right. That's what we're going to do. Right now, we're caught up. I picked up 4 movies for £2 today. All Blu-rays, that's like $1.40. Amazing. Amazing, Phil. Which ones? And while we're doing that, I'm going to end this poll. Okay? Tied. Now, we're going to start it again, and you've got... oops. Not a Q&A. What? Poll. Which frickin' flavor? Not friction. Autocorrect. What do I have? Oh, there you go. And you've got, let's see. I'm going to start a timer. Not calculator. No. Set a timer for, I'm going to do 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to vote. Number 1, E.T. Number 2, Chewbacca. Number 3, the tall one from Fire in the Sky. Okay. Your votes are the new neutral response video. But Magnus, going back to Ridley, I think a lot of the problems with that movie are Ridley based. The problem is, and I think the reason why a lot of people don't understand me when I say that I really, really like Prometheus is because I like Ridley's style. And so for that movie, the style, the music, the performances, a lot of that works for me. Even though the story goes off the deep end multiple times, I enjoy it so much. And I cannot discount that viewing experience in the theater with the guy having a seizure behind me during the... Dude, it added so much to the movie that I'm like, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. So, there you go. Wait, does Lilu from The Fifth Element count as a cinematic alien? Absolutely. Absolutely. Loved Sicario, but still never seen. Oops, still never seen 2. Is it gonna rain? And why did? Oh, why am I losing internet in my room? That shouldn't be a thing. But Sicario 2 is actually pretty good. It's not as good as the first one. We have X-Men Days of Futures Past, The Rogue Cut, good one. Prince of Persia, never saw that. Sicario 1 and 2, double set. Bruce Willis movie called Hostage. Don't know, I haven't seen that one. Oh, one more by a classic, Blu-ray classic John. Oh, Hard Boiled? Dude. I didn't like Sicario silly. Sicario's awesome. The first Sicario is great. The second one's... But Magnus, look, I'll be honest. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that you didn't like it. You just like totally different movies than some of us in here do. But that's okay. You know? You think Heat is boring. I think it's amazing. And look at that. With only 15 seconds to go. Crap, we're tied. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Add your vote. Vote, vote, vote. Vote, vote, vote. Vote, vote, vote. Okay? We still have a tie. Oh! At the last minute! Look at that. I'm going to end the poll because it's done. And look at that. Dude. Raspberry cake batter up from nowhere. I mean, it was in third place the entire time. And yet, came out with a win. You liked Rambo. I mean, I like Rambo. Yeah, I mean, I like stuff. And Hard Boiled is... I was actually thinking, I was hoping that there was a John Woo, like... Or maybe not John Woo, but like, I want Hard Boiled. I want A Better Tomorrow. I want... Yeah, I want those. But yeah. The Hard Boiled disc is an American Blu-ray, so unusual to find on a market in the UK. That is interesting. Paul Vanderhoven, you mean Verhoeven? Never made a movie I didn't like. I saw all of them. Did you see the new one? The crazy, maybe not crazy, but the lesbian nuns? Did you see that one? Good doc on Netflix about the Texas killing fields, I-45 corridor between Houston and Galveston. Okay. Yes, it was good. Oh, and The Killer. Yes. Yes. All right. So, like I said, out of nowhere, raspberry cake batter with the win. Did you like those? Sour crunchy McChew face. And then pull berry. And then raspberry cake batter up. There's my cotton. You can see it is perfectly clean and white and beautiful. Oops, wrong way. Ready for that liquid. By the way, I got a kingly gift from my father for my birthday. I'm going to use that money to buy a new chair. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see if they have what I want in stock. Open. Dang it. Dang child protective things. Okay. Let's do the knuckle test. You know you need a knuckle test. You need a knuckle test before you do anything. So let's try it out. Raspberry cake batter. Got a bail gang. I thought you said got a ball gang. I was like, what does that mean? Sounds sturdy. Maybe back later. If not, I'll catch y'all on the next one or in Discord or in my dreams. Bucho, have a good one, sir. Have a good one. Did you ever see the anime Ninja Scroll or Sword of the Stranger? If you like waifu movies, you'll like it. I did see Ninja Scroll. I thought it was okay. I don't really remember it. It was one of those where I'm like, okay, glad I watched it. I'm good. Like, I have a better tomorrow. I have a better tomorrow. Grab the UK Steelbook edition. Great disc and not too expensive. Okay. Well, the only problem is if it's a Blu-ray, then I can't watch it here, right? Unless it's region free. I got to be honest with you. This tastes a little medicine-y. Sometimes when you knuckle an e-liquid, they taste a little medicine-y. We'll see. All right, so load. Oh, it's a weird color too. Look at that color. It's almost like a pink. I don't know about that. Usually there's no food coloring in most e-liquids. There's a very famous one called Heisenberg. Is it Heisenberg or is it just Heisenberg? Anyway, it's blue. Like the blue in Breaking Bad. The problem with it is I won't ever buy it because it's got the ice crap in it, and I don't like that. All right. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Yeah, look at the color on that. That is very strange. A very strange color. But let's try it. Get a region-free player. I mean, I would love to. But the problem is I already have a 4K player. Excuse me. And I don't know if I want to buy another thing to go places. Just for one. Because I literally have one Region 2 disc here. And it's the thing. And I think it's over here. I ripped it. So I don't need. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't really need it. So region free for me doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I can just rip it. But yeah, that is a weird color. It's pink. I don't know if that comes across very well on camera, but it is like pink. All right, let's try it. First toot, the one that you guys picked, raspberry cake batter, out of nowhere, came to win. Here we go. Got a little whistle going. Let's close down the airflow just a little bit. That still didn't help. Why is that so whistly? I have a feeling this one's going to take some time to figure it out because that is a weird taste. It's a weird one. Tastes a little medicine-y to me. Not a fan of raspberry. I'll tell you what. I'm out of it now. The raspberry donut one, my God. Like, so freaking good. Like, really freaking good. This has a little bit of a medicine-y flavor to it. But again, I've said it before. Sometimes you need to vape it a few times, before you get the... There's probably parts of the previous liquid in there, even though you clean it. So, yeah. What am I going to eat for my birthday? That is a great question. Because usually, what we do for our birthdays here, April and I will just go to a restaurant, of our choice. I don't really know where I'd want to go. And no, I don't drink whiskey. I didn't drink whiskey when I drank. Um, go to Goldie's. Well, number one, I'm not gonna go wait in line by myself because April has to work. Number two, that's not my kind of. I'll just say this. Goldie's is a place that I would have to plan for stomach wise, and that would not be a good. That would not be a good birthday meal for me. Going back all the way to the beginning of the stream. Juicy poop. Yeah. Yeah. So this is much better for me right now. This what is it? Grape, acai, whatever berry. It's good. That is a very matured together flavor. This tastes very medicine-y to me. It smells pretty good. It's so weird how you can taste like literally taste the liquid. You can smell it after it's been vaped, and then you can vape it, and they're three totally different flavors. Like there's been times when I've made a liquid, which maybe we ought to do that on stream or something sometime. I think that might be fun. But mix a liquid and you shake it up, right? Shake it up, and then you taste it and you go, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be awesome." And then you drip it or whatever, and you go, you know what I mean? Is there nicotine in that vape? Yes. This has regular nicotine in it. Yes. These two both have synthetic nicotine in it. So nicotine made in a lab. This one is regular nicotine. And sometimes it'll nicotine the flavoring. Okay. Okay. So if you do a flavor with no nicotine in it, it will taste different than when you have nicotine in it. So there are things that you can put in your mixture, your recipe of a flavoring that can basically almost like cancel out the flavor of the nicotine, so you're just left with this stuff. And sometimes you can taste the nicotine like a lot. But yeah, it's such a weird thing here. It's right now it's not great. I got to be honest, it's not great right now. Am I old enough to have vape in that nicotine? Well, I think you have to be 21. And since I'm about to turn 47 in 2 days, can you believe that? Do I look 47? I mean, I don't know. Do I? I don't think so. But yeah, there is nicotine in it, but a very small amount. This is 3 milligram. So for it's point is that yeah that's 0.3% of what's in here is nicotine. Like the stuff that, like, for example, Juul or any of the like disposables or whatever are 50 milligram or 5% concentrated nicotine in that bottle or in that pod or whatever. So yeah, I'm vaping a very minimal amount, but I'm also vaporizing more e-liquid. So I would say like 6 to 7 in like a pod would be close to what I'm vaping here. So it's a small amount of nicotine. How long does one of those bottles last you? Did you hear me turn into Kylo Ren for a second as I was talking? How long does one? It depends. Usually I have multiple setups going just because I'm spoiled and I have a bunch of different ones, like 5 or 6 of them going at once. And I'll this one and then this one, and then I'll put that one down and get a different one. Or it may be that, I want a single battery instead of a dual battery. or I'll whatever, you know? So usually they last me about like 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of people, there's some people that go through about 15 milliliters a day. So this is 120 milliliters. So if you do the math, that's about a week, a little over a week. They usually last me like 3 weeks or more. Now a 60 mil, again, it's half the size, probably half the time, right? But I've never, honestly, I don't know how long they last. Usually a long time. Stupid freaking birds. Anyway, do I ever get a nicotine rush and start jittering? No. It's a very low amount of nicotine. Low amount. I tried a ton of different extracts in my brewery days, and you were totally right. Multiple different flavor and aroma at different parts of their use. The base could even influence the outcome. That's true too. Because sometimes, a lot of times, like with me, I had to be, what I was doing is I was storing everything in this cabinet right in here. You can see some of my stuff is still in there. I mix here on this desk, but I don't keep my flavorings in there anymore because this room fluctuates with temperature. If it's hot outside, it's hot in this room. If it's cold outside, it's cold in this room. And even though it was out of sunlight, direct sunlight, the flavorings were getting tainted or whatever. So I keep my flavorings in the pantry, where it's nice and cool all the time. Even in the summertime, it stays cool in there. So I figured out that the nicotine aged faster in there. So then I started storing nicotine in the fridge. And I have nicotine in the freezer as well. So freezing just completely, you can't use it. It's just frozen. Or it's really, really, nah. I in fact, I don't even know if doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, yes, there are a lot of things a lot of variables that can change things. Even if this sat in the mail truck or whatever for a couple of days, real hot, it could affect the way that it tastes. But yeah, there's some right idiots on eBay. Blood, a game on the PC, which I own. He's asking 1,400 pounds for it. It is not worth that. Jeez. I look 17? You sound like Satan. Dye your face red and have devil horns. Blow that smoke out your mouth. So if I when I start talking and then it starts getting out, yeah, it goes down a little bit. It's actually hard to talk. But yeah, it actually sounds a little bit like Kylo Ren in The Mask. So now they're trying to price out PC games. So silly. The retro market is so crap these days. Yeah. And you know what's weird? Okay, so I was having this discussion earlier with my brother, and I'm curious because there are a lot of gamers in here. Okay, I'm not a huge gamer. I'm super casual, right? But in the current state of gaming, and I'm talking about current systems, current consoles, that kind of thing, does it even make sense to have a physical copy anymore? Because in almost every single case, a game comes out and then you immediately have to do an update. So if you kind of extrapolate, what would be the purpose of owning a game that 20 years down the road you put it in and the updates aren't on the servers anymore? So now you've got a bugged game and it's not even, you know what I'm saying? So does it even make sense to buy physical when it comes to games these days? Movies typically are not the same situation. The movies don't change unless it's Star Wars. But you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? I'm just curious if anybody else is kind of like me, where I'm like, I don't see the point anymore. Even Breath of the Wild, I have the physical thing, and immediately when I got it, I immediately had to download an update. So I don't know. Vaping out of your mouth is easier blowing smoke up your ass. I mean, that is absolutely true. I think. No, I hardly ever buy physical copies, a few times a decade. Yeah, see, I bought a few games physically, and then I bought some games digitally. Most of the time, digitally makes more sense to me. But I'm kind of curious, like, Like I want to hear from Ricky, because I know Ricky buys physical, but does it actually make sense? And I'm talking about if you don't care about having them on a shelf, because if you do care about having them on a shelf, then I totally get it. I totally understand. To you, there's no difference, but then there's another difference, and I'll get to that. My only concern is when server service goes down, you might not be able to get it back. That's true too. I gave up on physical media long ago, and I don't miss it. I love physical media, but with the lack of manuals and anything collectible in the case, there's no point in buying modern games on disc. Movies, I still love buying collector's editions. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, there's 4K Alien. I have the 4K Alien, but this set is freaking cool, man. It's freaking neat. Look at this. I love the way that this looks. It's so cool. Look at that. Oh my God. Why am I talking like that? I don't know. 3 times the terror. So literally Alien cubed. But yeah, this is just like, yeah, this is cool. It's very cool. But I don't know. I'm assuming if sites are down, fans will come up with patches and stuff to play if... Oh, no. And that's absolutely true. It's just like there will be redundancy, but you have to know what you're doing to be able to use something that you've downloaded off the internet to patch a game that's on the system. You have to probably jailbreak the system first to allow something externally to update the game. I don't know. It's weird. To be honest, Magnus, I use good old games to buy all the old stuff. Don't know if they're in the States, but you buy it and just works. Love good old games. Good old games, and they're like £2 to £3 each. Yeah. Yeah, I buy physical. No, it doesn't make sense with modern games. I can admit it. Even the shitty limited run games have previous versions of games that they release, and they need a patch by the time you get it. Yeah. It's the Alien set, man. You can spend... And you know, one of the best... I know a lot of people don't care about the sequels, but I'm telling you, the Matrix set is a damn good freaking set. It's got so many good commentaries. I think there's like 2 or 3, 4 commentaries per movie or something. I love it. I love those commentaries. And all the special features on the Matrix stuff is amazing. But anyway, yes. Piracy will preserve a lot of games as well. Emulators, torrents, ISO, yep. And GOG or GOG. No, I get all that. I just feel like because my brother was talking about Legend of Zelda, right? And he was talking about, oh man, I want that limited box set, blah blah blah. And I'm like, but there's not a whole lot cool about it. There's not a whole lot added to it. You know, it's $50 more? Is that right? It's $129, $119. I don't know how much it is. But it's like, I don't want any of that stuff. And I have multiple collector's editions of games, like that freaking Diablo 3 I showed a couple of weeks ago. I've opened that maybe 4 times since I bought it. Oh, an art book. That's cool. I open it, I look through it, and that's really cool. And I put it right back in there, and then it never gets seen again. And it's kind of like, okay, all it's doing is taking up space. When really what's important to me is the game. I don't know. Someone else that likes commentaries. Nice. None of my friends understand my likes of those. John Carpenter commentaries are the best. John Carpenter commentaries are great, but I'm biased, I guess. My absolute favorite is Ridley Scott. And the reason that I like Ridley Scott so much is because he doesn't beat around the bush at all. If there's something he doesn't like or something that didn't turn out right, he'll talk about it. If there's someone, usually he's pretty couth, but there's been times when he said, yeah, I didn't really like the way that this turned out, and that, you know, this actor did this and blah, blah, blah. Some great stuff. And it's on almost every single movie. And I learned so much from listening to him talk about his own process. You know, the pre-production in particular is amazing. And if you're into that. But he's my complete commentary all-star. I wish Spielberg would do commentaries, but I mean, he wants to sort of preserve the magic of movies and blah, blah, blah. But I really think that he would have some really interesting things to say about his process, but he just doesn't want to share that for whatever reason. Usual Suspects is a good one. That is a really good commentary. Yeah. Okay, wait. Even on the Steam Deck and PC, I have to manually install patches on Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and any other Wii U game. I have to find the patch, then manually install it yourself. But you're using it outside of the system that you actually bought it for. I'm saying if you have that original system, will you be able to play a Switch that has no, I mean, I guess you could test it by buying a brand new Switch, leaving the Wi-Fi off, and just playing a game. Does that work? I don't even know. Will you get Breath of the Wild 2 day one? Will you sleep with the game at night? I won't sleep with the game, but I'll probably be playing the crap out of it. And I'm kind of thinking if I'm going to be playing it, I should just play it here and stream it. The only problem with that I'm scared of is spoilers. I don't want people coming in here, you know, Dumbledore dies. Why? What? Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that. So I don't know. I took Half-Life, Halo, and Dead Space Remix to bed with me in the past. Okay. I mean, hey, little strange to me, but hey, you do you, you know? I love the Stallone commentary on First Blood. Yeah. That's a good one too. I think I might have the DVD. I can't remember what I have. I'm pretty sure I don't. I think I at least had the DVDs. I think I traded them in at some point because I was going to buy the Blu-rays and then never bought the Blu-rays. So I don't actually know that I have a copy of First Blood. But yeah, what a great movie. Kevin Smith commentaries are great too. You know what though? Clerks 3, he kind of annoyed the hell out of me. I think I said that on my review. Not that I'm trying to push you to my review, but Clerks 3, it kind of annoyed me because all those other guys don't have podcasts. Let them talk. And he would talk over them. And I'm like, dude, I want to hear what this guy has to say. I want to hear what Scott Mosier would have to say. I mean, he didn't do anything on Clerks 3, but you know what I mean? It's like, I want to hear what this person says. And I want to hear what this person says. Why are you talking over people? So that's the only problem. It kind of annoyed me. But I thought Mel Brooks would have funny commentaries, but they are dull as hell. You know, it's funny. It's weird too, because there are some people that they're just different people. They turn it on when it's time to do a movie or whatever, and they can be funny in writing, but they can't be funny in person. I find that really, really, really curious. I don't think I own. I mean, I own some Mel Brooks movies, but I'm not sure if I have any with commentaries. Not sure. You can play without Wi-Fi, but say it had performance patches and contend adding patches, you won't get any of that. Right. Now, what are you talking about, beer chasers? What did you... And Rob Rivera, welcome. Welcome. Just say no spoilers. That doesn't stop people. Have you been in one of these streams? Dude, that doesn't stop people at all. In fact, a lot of people will... I've been in chats playing a brand new game, streaming, like they're streaming a brand new game. says no spoilers in the title, and people will intentionally come in. People who like to spoil crap, they'll come into the chat and spoil things, and then get immediately banned or whatever. But it ruins it for any of those people that were reading the chat at that point. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah. I like listening to Stallone. He's an underrated storyteller. I think again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sylvester Stallone is a really, really intelligent guy. And I think a lot of people just believe that he was Rocky, or Rambo. They don't think of him as an intelligent, well-spoken guy. He wrote Rocky. He wrote it. The guy is good, man. The guy's really good, and he's always been underrated. And I like a lot of his bad movies. I remember liking Oscar. I enjoyed it, but and yes, he was in some porno back then. Yes, he was. He writes most of his movies. He was sleeping in a car and needed the money. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about Stallone that's really, really interesting. Really, really interesting stuff. Or at least the story outline. Yeah, he's good at that stuff. But he's just really thoughtful, And he's just not he's just not just a meathead, you know what I mean? So that's the thing that's kind of annoying about that kind of stuff, Is people just think, "Oh yeah." Now, real quick before we get into the news, let me take a vape of this. Still weird. A little perfumey. Schwarzenegger is surprising. He is surprising how thoughtful and quick-witted he is, which is part of the reason why he got the job as Terminator, is because of Pumping Iron, right? That was called. That first documentary, right? Because he was so funny, and people just thought, man, this guy's got a lot of charisma. He's not just, I lift things. He's like, he's got an actual personality. I really enjoy all those guys. All right, headed home. Be right back. Be careful, Ricky. Be careful. I'm going to talk books real quick, right before we get into the news, okay? He didn't think the Terminator would do well. Yeah, I mean, well, not a lot of people thought the Terminator would do well. But, man, there's so much ingenuity in the way that movie was made. Very, very cool stuff. And it's smartly written, Very, very well done. Arnold's only 6 foot, but towers over most actors. Just goes to show how short most actors are. Yeah. He's only 6 foot? That's crazy. I guess I didn't realize that. That's crazy. Crazy. And in fact, Bucho put in on the Discord, he put in a video about Michael Biehn talking about kind of his career and stuff. I still need to watch that. That looks good. But anyway, real quick, I finished New Spring. It was very short. It only took me a week to get through it. I really enjoyed it. Like, it was a singular story about the beginning of the Wheel of Time. The reason that a lot of people said to read it later is because there are characters and things that happen that don't come up until later on in the series. So if you actually read this first, because it is a prequel, it can ruin some of the things that come later. So I'm really glad that I did wait until after book 10 to read it. But now, according to my Kindle, I am 67% through the series with 4 books left. So those 4 books are long. So that's going to be an interesting one. But now I'm reading this tome. Stephen King, Insomnia. And again, a lot of people have said that this book has a lot of things in it that uh, are kind of side bits to The Dark Tower. I'm going to read it because I like it. I like it. I like Stephen King and I like the way that he writes. So there you go. 6'2". I don't know how tall he actually is. Let's see. How tall is Arnold? Ah, according to the Googles, he is 6'2". The Austrian oak. So there you go. 6'2". Are there fantasy races in the Wheel of Time? I mean, kind of. Is it based on the movie? No. This has nothing to do with the Al Pacino Robert De Niro or Al Pacino Robin Williams. I read Robert and then said De Niro, but I meant Rob. You meant Robin, not Robert. No, this has nothing to do with that. No. But yeah. Are there fantasy races? Yes, there's Trollocs and Murdrolls and other bad things. I'm trying to remember. We haven't seen any in a while, you know? Gonna head out, my dude. Catch you soon. The Beer Chasers. Have a good one, sir. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. But yeah, I'm reading that book. I'm excited. I'm excited because I love getting into a big ass book like this. I love it. I love just getting lost in it. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing most of the day on Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm going out to a furniture dealer, kind of office furniture dealer, so I can find my chair. And hopefully next week, I won't be shuffling around and moving and creaking and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Currently building a retro box off an old half-decent PC. Too many ROMs. What's Die Hard Arcade? Guess I will find out. Good of my mate to borrow me his ROMs. Wouldn't fancy downloading all of these. Yeah, depends. I mean, if you know anything about BitTorrent, you can just get on there and BitTorrent away. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah. Just go make some coffee or a cake, come back and it's done. You know what I mean? But look, here's some news. Jeremy Renner will appear in person at the Renovations world premiere taking place April 11th at Los Angeles' Regency Village Theater. This is going to be interesting to see if he's 100% or if he's going to be, walking with a cane, a walker, wheelchair. I'd be interested to see how he. I honestly have been checking up on him to see if he's, if he's doing well. Oh, and by the way, speaking of things that I was checking up on, the case that I almost got picked for jury duty last week, the jury is out right now, so they're still going. So if I had gotten picked, I would have had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then yesterday and today, they're still going. And the jury's doing their thing. So, yeah. But hopefully Jeremy Renner's doing okay. He put out a video of him running on a treadmill. Really? I didn't see that. Okay. That's awesome. Awesome news. I just feel like he's a good guy. I don't know him. He could be terrible. A horrible person. I have no idea. All I know is from what I've seen, I really like him. And it was a shame to hear that he was trying to help somebody and screwed up, didn't put the thing, or it slid onto him or whatever. Hope he's doing okay. Remember to hydrate, everybody. Remember to hydrate. Um, Next up, Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt are going to be in the Ghostbusters sequel. Hail Hydrate. Yes. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. I mean, look, this is one of those situations where I don't even know like what's going to happen, you know? Pick a system, I have it. Yeah, Phil, I for my we'll get back to this. For my what is that? What is that thing? Raspberry Pi. I got a thing, collection of games. And dude, it's so much. So much. I think I don't know, it's like 65,000 games or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And yeah, going through that stuff is fun. But it's also like I've it's almost like Netflix, you know? Where sometimes you get on Netflix and you realize that you've just wasted 45 minutes just looking around on Netflix instead of actually watching something. Like you could watch the first episode in most cases of a thing. But no, you've just been swiping, you know? So that's one of those things. An anti-grav treadmill? That doesn't make you want to see it. Look, I I've okay. I have liked and disliked Kumail Nanjiani in things. Patton Oswalt, I love. Like love, 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 love. I'm really, really I really like him. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is supposed to come out December 2023. This says not much is known about the sequel, but sources say the plan is to return to New York City and the iconic firehouse made famous in the original Ghostbusters films. Doesn't say anything about a freaking story. So yeah, I mean, look, this is one of those things where it's like, it could be great. It could be poop. It could be poop. It could be juicy poop. Who knows? What? Back to New York, it's about time. Ghostbusters Afterlife didn't do anything for me aside from the scenes with Winston at the end. Yeah, I mean, look, I enjoyed it on a very base kind of like, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it was just fine. It didn't like I was just excited. I think a lot of people were just excited because it wasn't terrible. You know? Like it was because it was fine. We were all like grading on a curve, you know what I mean? Fine was awesome compared to the previous movie. So, you got the Game and Watch on there. I don't know what I have. All I know is I have so much, but my problem is there are systems where it cut off. Like I think it had PlayStation and I think it had some Dreamcast, but it couldn't play Dreamcast very well. I wanted Dreamcast and Saturn and that era of games, and this is too old to play that. When I bought it, it was it was the newest thing, but it's still they hadn't gotten to that point. Now they've gotten to the point where you can do some Saturn, you can do some Dreamcast, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not there yet. Not Gary. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Uh whose idea was to have it take place in the middle of nowhere as opposed to New York City? Would have made more sense if it took place in New Orleans, since it has a macabre history. I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it was fine. It just wasn't great, you know? How about heading down to Baton Rouge for your birthday or New Orleans? No. I'm not a big fan. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of Louisiana. I'm just not. It's nothing against the people or anything like that. If I want Cajun food, I'll go to Razoo's. or slap your mama. Uh, what's the place called? I don't think it's called Slap Your Mama. It's it's something like Razoo's though. It's like Timmy Jakes or Kenny Farfig things ploops. I don't remember what it Cajun food Fort Worth Boo Rays. Boo Rays. Boo. Oh, you can't see that. Boo Rays. No, there's not a place called Slap Your Mama. Slap Your Mama is a seasoning thing. Something called Daphne. What the? Oh, oh yeah, the Daphne. I have that on mine too. Uh, but no, I'm not a huge fan of Louisiana in general. It's just not my thing. Anti-grav treadmills help you walk easier by lessening the load or something. Oh, that's cool. Makes sense. What are your thoughts on Ghostbusters 2? The movie gets way too much hate. As a kid, I preferred it over the first one. I saw the first one in theaters when I was 8. That's right. I was 8 years old when that movie came out. 5 years later? Came out in 89, right? Ghostbusters 2? I was 13 and I'd already felt like it was too kiddie for me. So I did not like Ghostbusters 2. I watched it and I think I'd only seen it that one time in theaters, like in 1989, and couldn't remember jack about it. And of course, I'm on Game Dave's Twitch streams all the time. Love that guy. And he's constantly referencing it and talking about Ghostbusters, and he loves Ghostbusters 2 and, you know, all the Peter McNichol stuff in that movie. And so I recently bought a set of them digitally because they were on sale, and watched Ghostbusters 2 and was like, I still don't like it. It's not as bad as I remembered. These days, when something feels a little kiddie, I can just kind of put myself in that mode and just say, okay, let's change our expectations a little bit. This is who the movie's for. Because that's the thing. A movie can be absolute crap to you and it might be genius to someone else. Like, for example, the sparkly vampire movies, Twilight, right? I might think they're absolute trash, but there are people that love those movies. You know what I mean? And to me, if a movie's for a certain person and it works for those certain people, then the movie is successful. It doesn't always have to be for everybody, you know? And I feel like Twilight is a good example of that. Ghostbusters 2 is made for a specific age group. I just don't think it works for that age group. For me. In my Spice Rub. Slap Your Mama. Good stuff. I have some in there. But Boo Rays is the name of the place here in DFW that has Cajun food with Razzoos as well. And I think the owners of both of those places used to work with each other, and then when they split, they formed Boo Rays and Razzoos, I think. Oh, you ever burp and it hurts? That hurt. Anyway. So yeah, I love the first one. The first one is absolutely just a great movie. And quotable like you wouldn't believe. The second one, I feel, is uneven. I feel like the characters change a little bit too much. I didn't feel like it was a natural progression from the first movie. I don't know. It's just not for me. But I'm happy that you enjoyed it so much. Okay? Because that's what's important. You know, it is. And Ninjinzu, welcome. I didn't see you come in. I loved Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was a nice way to say goodbye to Harold Ramis and his character. His death is why the story was what it was. Yeah. And the thing is, I really enjoyed it all the way up until I felt like the ending was just a little too much, but I still really liked it. And it also made me kind of go, I'm kind of glad that Bill Murray wasn't in this whole thing. Because Bill Murray is a lot, you know? I really enjoy him as an actor, but man, as when he feels like he needs to turn it on, it's like, whoa, dude, tap the brakes, man. You're just a lot. You're not even human anymore. You're like a caricature. And that's the first movie. There, he rarely goes off that deep end. He rarely crosses that line. He's just the smartass in the first one. But in the second one, he becomes cartoonish, and I don't like it. And then in the third movie, when he shows up, spoilers, I guess. Oops. It's like, dude, way over the top for me. But at the same time, I think the first movie was almost like I don't think any of them realized how it would resonate to children. You know? It felt more like in the vein of, say, like Stripes or something like that, where it just it was more adult in theme or in tone, but then they added a lot of this almost cartoony stuff, and then it really resonated with kids and they really loved it, and then they started to lean into that, and that's where I felt like it went wrong. I felt like it needed to be more like the first movie. But there you go. You got a purty mouth? No, that's Arkansas, I think, is what you're talking about, Phil. Louisiana is just not it's just not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just like Oklahoma. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of Oklahoma. Spent a lot of time there. But yeah. Who is Son of the Mask for? No one. See, it's kind of like, I don't know. That's how I try to look at things, because it's I think that's important. Like if you're trying to make say Jurassic Park, okay? You can do a couple of different you could have taken that book and said, we're going to make it seriously, like really scientific like the book was. Or you can take some of the science out of it, kind of take out some characters, change some motivations, and you can make it really kiddie. I feel like they went somewhere in the middle, and it's part of the reason why I have a hard time saying that Jurassic Park's one of my favorite movies, because I read the book first. And the book was super smart, scientific. There was a lot of stuff in that, and actually like some horrific stuff happens. It just they didn't even come close to that in the movie. They touched on things in a Spielberg kind of way. He'll be like, "Hey, book readers, there's your line." But it's like, but the whole story changed. Because Hammond in the book is an asshole. Like, serious asshole. And in you saw what we got in Jurassic Park the movie. He's this lovable, grandfatherly guy. It's a completely different character. So I went into the movie thinking, because I was one of those that it was 1993, where I was 17. And that movie came out. I tried not to watch anything about it. I didn't want to know anything about it. And immediately I was taken with, oh my God, they're changing a lot here. And then you get to the dinosaurs, you get to the Brachiosaurus, right? And you're like, oh my God, this is holy, this is so amazing. You get to the T-Rex scene, it's amazing. But by the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, that was fun and all, but where's the meat? And that's kind of how a lot of screenplay stuff, they will tell you, when you're starting your script, you need to identify who your audience is. Who is your intended audience? Are you writing a movie that will appeal to, thank you. Are you writing a movie that will appeal to the mainstream? Are you writing a movie that will appeal to this many people in this area? Say this location, this region? A lot of Indian movies are written for that specific region. Or are you writing a movie for a specific class of people? Like, are you writing it, for the middle class, the lower class, the upper class? What kind of movie are who's your intended audience? So, in my opinion, they took the book out of its intended audience and put it into one that hopefully would be like a general audience. And because of that, a lot of the stuff had to be changed and tweaked, and it's a bummer, you know? But I think Jurassic Park is the best example of the change from a book to a movie where I feel like they did a disservice to the writing of the book. Because I think Michael Crichton did an amazing job with that book. And then The Lost World came out, and it tried to be like almost like a sequel to both. I can't even remember it. But I remember thinking, this is not working. And I never finished it. So, anyway. Good point, Wraith. Oh, yeah. And who greenlit that? No, I don't know. Razoo's was the name of a bar on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Not sure if it's still there. I didn't know that. Ghostbusters was made mainly for adults. Just so happens the marketing was aimed towards kids. Yeah. Did I ever read a Dragonlance novel? No. Too dorky. No, I just never did. Bill Murray grew to hate that director in Groundhog Day. It stressed... You mean Harold Ramis? Harold Ramis directed Groundhog Day. It stressed him out. He was cold and got many injuries. Hold on to your butts. They did have a falling out, but and I don't know. I don't know if they ever what do you call it? If they ever mended their relationship, which is just I don't know. Sounds like, I mean, I'm not making any judgments. If you're a Bill Murray fan, I'm not trying to poison you against him, but I've heard a lot of things over the years about Bill Murray, personal stories, news stories, where it's kind of like, did he go off the deep end? It sure sounds like it, but I don't know. With Ghostbusters, it's time to pass the torch to the surviving cast are all in their mid to later 70s. Yeah, for sure. Except Winston. I always loved Winston. I seriously did. There was something, because he was the audience. He's the new guy. And he's got to learn all the stuff. And I love Ernie Hudson. I think he's great. And of course he's great in The Crow. But yeah, I always loved Winston. And I was always hoping that Winston would get a bigger role or whatever in the future movies that never happened. And then finally in Afterlife, there's some cool Winston stuff in there. So we'll see what happens in this new Ghostbusters movie. I mean, I hope it's good. Speaking of funny, scary movies, have you seen Chuck and Dale vs. Evil? Yes, it's awesome. That's a great movie. That's Alan Tudyk, right? Good stuff. Yes, and in Lost World book, there's an entire character called Dr. Levin, not in the movies. Yeah. I was out when that girl used gymnastics to kick the raptor out of the window. Oh, yeah. The book was completely different, if I remember correctly. I saw Jurassic Park on opening night, loved it, didn't read the novel until many years later, enjoyed them both for what they are. Saw Jurassic Park 2 opening night, was disappointed, I never saw a movie in the theater since. Well, I don't know if you should take The Lost World as the last bastion of movies, of blockbuster movies. There's some great movies out there. But you just said you saw John Wick 4. So, what's the truth, Magnus? Just kidding. Winston was the everyman of the group, and yeah, Ernie Hudson is awesome. Yeah, he is. Great episodes in the cartoon. I meant Jurassic Park film in the theater. Got caught slipping. Wow, I mean, just saying. I mean, I'm all for hyperbole, but you just said that you watched John Wick 4, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Now, here, I wanted to talk about this. Look, there are going to be some opinions here on all sides. You will have an opinion about this. I will have an opinion, and this actor has an opinion. Donnie Yen says Quentin Tarantino was obviously making fun of Bruce Lee. It was cartoonish. And this is what he had to say, okay? Never saw another Jurassic Park movie in the theater since 2. Okay, that makes sense. I totally get that. They did mend it as he was dying, Rob. He visited when he heard he didn't have long to live. Unfortunately, Harold had lost his ability to speak when Murray visited. Oh, well, that's actually nice to hear. John Wick is cartoonish. I mean, he kind of is. But this is what he says. Everybody is entitled to their opinions. Donnie Yen. Quentin Tarantino is a very renowned filmmaker, and he's entitled to his status, and I'm entitled to state my own view. Obviously, he was making fun of Bruce. It was cartoonish. Lee's daughter Shannon Lee previously slammed the controversial fictionized depiction of her father. What's that mean? What's that say? Okay, we're going to skip that. Claiming that the film made Lee look like an asshole. So, love Donnie Yen. Number one, that is absolutely true. Donnie Yen is amazing. Great guy. And I have been watching, I love Donnie Yen. I've been watching martial arts films my whole life, and some of his movies are beautiful. Beautiful. But I think he doesn't understand the movie. And I'll let you guys say what you say. What do you think? Magnus says, I hate when people say that. It's a way to sidestep an argument or complaint. It's like a parachute for weak-minded people to say everyone has an opinion. No, it's not. No, it's not. Everyone has an opinion. Here's mine. You can take that opinion and say, I mean, like for an example, you think, Magnus, you think that Heat is a bad movie and that needs to be edited so that all of the good parts, all of the drama, the character development, it gets edited out. I disagree with that. But you are absolutely entitled to your opinion and absolutely entitled to edit the movie and do whatever you want. But yeah, that's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness at all. So, there you go. It's true on itself, but it's a phrase to minimize what someone says without challenging it. I don't think so. I disagree completely. I say Heat is absolutely fantastic on its own, the way it is. Period. You can disagree with that or not. But I will also say that by disagreeing, it's implied that you have your own opinion. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I'll take a stance right now. Heat is fantastic the way it is and doesn't need to be edited. There you go. Anyway, we're talking about Donnie Yen here. Then you should make the argument instead of saying it. I did. He did. He's saying it's cartoonish to treat Bruce Lee, someone who's an absolute legend, and treat him like a cartoon. My opinion says, and he goes, everybody's entitled to it, right? But here's my opinion. In the movie, you're seeing Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, you're seeing his interpretation in he's reliving his version of what happened. Everything in that whole sequence is cartoony because it's his memory of it. And memories can be wrong and fake and all that stuff. When Bruce Lee is shown later in the movie, showing him training Sharon Tate, it was absolutely exactly the way. I mean, it was well done. So my opinion, from what he's saying, is it's it's not disrespectful. It's literally someone's messed up memory, which made it fun, and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Now, what I will say though is that if you're, the problem may be that some people didn't get that. That some people didn't understand that this was supposed to be, we're looking at someone's faulty memory of what happened, this altercation that Cliff Booth had with Bruce Lee. That I can kind of understand. But I don't think it was meant to be some sort of, you know, like, oh, Bruce Lee sucks and Bruce Lee was an asshole. I don't think that's what it was meant to be at all. I didn't take it that way. When I watched it, I enjoyed it because I was like, this is Cliff like reliving. It's like when you know, like, have you ever seen that stupid shirt that they sell in like gas stations where it says, the older I get, the better I was? It's exactly what was going on. Did you see how they were flying around in that scene? It didn't make any sense, and it was fun. But that was the whole point. We are watching his memory, his twisted memory of what happened. So, but like I said, at the same time, I can see how someone who's, I don't know, an Asian actor trying to get, trying to make their way into Hollywood and sees how they're treating probably the most famous Asian actor in the history of ever, that they're treating him this way. I can see how you might take offense to it, but I literally do not think that was Tarantino's intent, was to make Bruce Lee look cartoonish. It was meant to be, look how messed up this guy's memory is, and look at how cartoony he's remembering this stuff. That's the way I look at it. But hey, anyway, and it's also called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but again, there you go. Sharon Tate got killed in real life. It wasn't a documentary, not supposed to be realistic. Yeah, but I mean, you get what I'm saying though, right? There's a possibility that somebody might look at that and think, and not be picking up on the fact that we're watching, you know, something that's not real. But anyway, I love that movie though. That's a movie that for whatever reason just hits all the notes for me. The first time I was like, okay, what are you doing here? What are we doing? And I didn't allow myself to just sit back and just chill. What I feel like this movie would probably be best is if you had a nice glass of whatever liquor you like to imbibe and you just sit there and chill out. Or if you want to smoke a thing and enjoy that movie that way too. I think that movie is it's a chill movie, and I love it. I love that movie so much. The second time I watched it, I was like, holy crap, this movie's genius. I love it. So yeah, there you go. That's I viewed every character in Once Upon a Time as cartoonish. Didn't care for the movie anyway, and as a Bruce Lee fan, I didn't take that depiction as gospel. See, and that's another take, where, you know, that's another opinion. I just loved it, man. I love that movie so much. She's got a great ass. Heat is in my top 5 all-time faves. Yeah, I watched it somewhat recently. I really like it, but it's I don't know. And maybe it's just because, you know how sometimes a character does something and you're just like, oh man, why'd you do that? And some people look at that as a fault, right? Like that, okay, well, that's stupid. That's not what should have happened. No, this is a movie where it's like, okay, this is totally in character for him to make that decision. But I hate watching him make that decision. Does that make sense? Even though, yeah, that totally makes sense. But I don't know. Look at my factual opinion. The Fast Saga is the greatest movie franchise ever, but they aren't for Rob. No, no, they're not. They're not. But that's fine. Just like Wraith posted up an image of the, what is it, Young Jedi Adventures or whatever. I mean, to me, where was that? Was that in Star Wars? Yeah. Do you look at that and go, that's crap and it doesn't deserve to exist? No. You look at that and you go, that's for kids. I'm not a kid, so that isn't made for me. As long as it's good on its own merits, then it's good. Go for it. Just like if they decided, if they just, I mean, they won't do this, but like say they, well, that's a bad example. I'm just trying to say that you can take a story. Never mind. I've already made that point. So never mind. The movie is a fairy tale or a fable. It's a silly argument. Well, true, but like I said, I can see why some people might take offense to it. Because here's the thing. A lot of people aren't that bright. And some people might look at that and go, yeah, Bruce Lee was really like that. Vape Bruce Lee's sweat while watching the movie. If it tastes like raspberry cake batter, I'll try this again. I'll have to give Once Upon a Time another watch. I've only seen it once. Yeah, I watched it in the theater opening weekend and sat there and was like, I wasn't on, you have to be on that level, I think. That I'm just going to chill and let this movie wash over me. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good example musically. Like there are some albums that I can just put on and just chill to, and then there's some that take work and that you have to be like an active listener. You're part of the, and a lot of the music that I like is usually very sonically interesting. So even though I don't plan to, I find myself really getting like sucked into it. You know what I mean? But this is just a chill movie. It's kind of like listening to a Doors album. You know? Yeah, you could probably say, oh yeah, that shit's really deep. No, they were high out of their minds and they just made chill music. Most of that music is just music to smoke weed to, you know what I mean? That's what it's like to me. To me, that's a movie that you just freaking chill to. Whatever substance you like to partake in, maybe not caffeine, but you know what I'm saying? By the way, caffeine is a drug, just like nicotine, just like alcohol. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is, yeah, just chill. Chill and watch that movie, and maybe you'll go, I'm on that level. And you like I said, you have to be on that level. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a movie disguised. It's a movie that comes off kind of like a mainstream movie, but when in reality he made it for this section of his audience that's like, I'm just gonna sit back and chill with these guys. The way that you know that we're gonna chill. Not only are we gonna chill, we're gonna chill in the late in the 60s. We're just gonna chill. This is what it was like to live in the 60s. When Cliff is driving down the highway and got the music going, and it's a long sequence. It's a long scene. That's what that movie's about. It's more about the feeling than it is about actively telling the story. You know what I mean? Like Pulp Fiction, and like every frame is trying to get you invested in the story that he's telling. To me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a sit back and just enjoy the ride, man. I think that's what Quentin's trying to say there. I could be completely wrong, but I also read his book, and the book is another one. It's the same story, but meanders away from the movie quite a bit, and it's a fun read too, because he just goes off on tangents. Oh, I'm going to talk about movies for a while, just different movies he likes, but in the guise of this character is talking about movies he likes, but they're all Quentin movies, the movies that he really digs. And then here's movies that he doesn't like. He doesn't like Truffaut and stuff like that. It's just cool, man. I don't know. Every time I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I like it more and more. Leo should have gotten an Oscar for it. I mean, that is a killer performance. And my favorite sequence in the whole movie isn't when he's sitting there talking with the little girl outside, and they're talking about the book that he's reading and all that. It's all of the different takes when he's trying to get into the scene and the camera actually resets. Oh, dude, it's like, that's what it's like being on a movie set. When somebody can't get it. Oh, dude, I love it. I love that movie. It's so good. What do you think of 1941 from Steven Spielberg? It has been years and years since I tried to watch it. I was in a younger state of mind. Well, I mean, I was younger. I'm afraid that I didn't judge it on its own merits back then. I judged it as, does this movie work for me? And it didn't. I don't remember it. So I need to revisit. That's one of those movies that I feel like somewhere down the road, I need to revisit it and maybe it'll work better. But 1941 is also one of his least popular and least successful, according to critics, of Spielberg's movies. But it's just one I want to see at some point. Oscar, welcome. Good to see you. Was his performance better than Wolf of Wall Street? I've only seen Wolf of Wall Street once, but I own it, and I need to watch it again. But my opinion is it's a different performance. It's just completely different. But there you go. But yeah, I mean, look, Donnie Yen, he's a freaking amazing guy. I love that guy. But I just don't think that was the intent. But I can see his point. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird thing. Now, next up, I'm really excited about this one. Killers of the Flower Moon. Apple and Paramount announced worldwide theatrical release plans for Martin Scorsese's next epic. So, Apple and Paramount teaming up to release the film theatrically worldwide with a limited Friday, October 6th release, then wide on October 20th. This release plan will happen before Killers of the Flower Moon streams globally on Apple TV+. This is absolutely going to be a movie that I see in the theater. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, Brendan Fraser, John Lithgow, Lily Gladstone. I'm excited. And I don't know if you can hear that, but my voice, I don't know, maybe I need to drink more water. I feel like I'm losing my voice. In 1920s Oklahoma, is it Osage? Osage? Osage Nation were the richest people per capita in the world after oil was discovered under their land. And then they were murdered one by one. As the death toll rose, the newly created FBI took up the case and unraveled a chilling conspiracy and one of the most monstrous crimes in American history. Martin Scorsese, Leo. It sounds awesome. This sounds awesome. And I actually know one of the prop people that worked on this movie. It's kind of cool. Her name's Mandy. She worked on Adventures in Game Chasing. She actually worked on, I guess, acquiring props for this movie. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see it. Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite directors. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely good. He's not my favorite, but he's definitely good. He's got a different his lens is different. The way that he looks at the world is a little bit different. I really, you know what movie I need to see of Martin Scorsese? The Last Temptation of Christ. Because I watched oh god, what's the name of it? Andrew Garfield and freaking Adam Driver. Starts with an S. Casino. Uh Silence. There it is. Silence. I'm weird that way. I'll know what it starts with, but I can't come up with a word. Silence. Movie was intense and very spiritual. He's a thank you, Ricky. Thank you. It wasn't Spider-Man, but thank you. Yeah, yeah, I really enjoy his viewpoint. I'm interested to see what was such a big deal about the Last Temptation of Christ, but hey, it's not loudness. I need to see Mean Streets and never saw Raging Bull. Raging Bull is good. I've seen Mean Streets, but only once, and it was a long time ago. It was back when I was watching a bunch of movies back at Blockbuster days, and I'm watching all these movies, and some of them are clicking and some of them aren't. And the ones that aren't, I think, oh, well, those are crap. No, they're just not for me. And it could be that I'm too young or I'm too old or whatever. That's a possibility. I think Mean Streets was just not, I wasn't on the level. So I want to watch it again. And by the way, Magnus, you said Roman Polanski, you like the Pianist. I remember seeing The Pianist. I don't really remember it greatly. I've seen a lot of Roman Polanski movies, and I mean, he's a hell of a director, but, not exactly the most popular person. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Second favorite movie ever is Taxi Driver. Wow, really? Taxi Driver is another one where I've only seen it once, but it's because it turned me off. It made me like almost sick to my stomach in the way that Joker did, where it's so dirty and gritty and like ugly to me. You know what I mean? And possibly is it because of the New York connection? I'm not sure, but that's how it feels to me. I still say Goodfellas is probably his best. Maybe Casino, though. Casino's really good, though. That is New York, though. Okay, well. I don't know. It wasn't I don't know. Oil and Money, not wanting to pay people on that land and murder. Yep, sounds right. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing this movie. And, I mean, dude, fantastic actors. Great director. I didn't like The Irishman. I thought The Irishman was way too long for what it was. And I really wish they had just cut those scenes where it was a young Robert De Niro. But, yeah. We should appreciate Martin Scorsese while we still have him with us. He's pushing up in age, incredible filmmaker. I mean, they all are. I mean, Spielberg's in his middle 70s. I mean, Lucas is pretty much retired. Anybody in that, almost that American Zoetrope kind of era. Great people. Brian De Palma. I actually have a couple of Brian De Palma movies in my watch list on HBO Max because Brian De Palma is a hell of a director too. But yeah, I just wish we could clone James Cameron's brain to an AI so we can get a movie out of him every 2 years. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, pretty much take all these guys, clone all their brains. Look, you gotta kill him to take his brain. Well, go ahead, kill him. But The Pianist. Yeah. Pianist. The New York City in the 70s was a whole different monster. It was exactly how it was portrayed. Yeah, see, I mean, maybe that's why I was like, ugh. I think the third Avatar should be his last and he should move on to something else with a few remaining years. Again, I want every writer, director, whoever, I want them working on stuff that makes him passionate. And if he's passionate about it, do it, dude. Do it. Do it. Do what you're passionate about. And if he's passionate about making Avatar movies for the rest of his life, who am I to say? If I don't like it, I don't have to watch it, right? That's the way I look at it. But anyway, the next two things, there's only two things left. And honestly, I'm going to have to get off a little bit early tonight because my throat is killing me. It's really not. I need to stop talking. I usually rest my voice before I come on the show. And unfortunately, dare me get off. No, I was talking with my brother and we talked a lot. And then I wouldn't say yelled at him, but I talked a lot. So trying to get him to come on, man. Come on, man. Unfortunately, he's always been the kind of person where he goes, "Oh yeah. No, I hear what you're saying." And then he just does his own thing, which it kind of makes me feel like, okay, well then why am I wasting my breath? But he got me going, and it got me going, as you know. And yeah. So there you go. It wasn't a scolding, it was more of a dude, just man, I feel like you're going down this path and you're gonna, it's not a good path, man. But hey, hey. John Frankenheimer. Yes. Ronin was a really good movie and one that April hates it. We saw that in the theater and I came out of that going, I'm buying that. And I did buy it. I think I have it on DVD. That might have been another one. Dude, there's so many movies. Not 47 Ronin, even though I kind of enjoyed that one too, even though it's kind of goofy. De Niro, Jean Reno, Sean Bean, Natasha Natasha M. I can't remember her last name. She was in a lot of movies in that time period and then just disappeared. Or at least disappeared in the stuff that I've seen. But yeah, what a great movie. And April couldn't stand it. I think I bought the DVD and then I ended up trading it in to get something else. And because I was going to upgrade the Blu-ray and then never upgraded the Blu-ray. I don't know. But anyway, two last things. First, I don't know how to feel about this one. Man on Fire TV adaptation set at Netflix. So, I didn't realize that this was based on a book series. That Man on Fire was based on the first book. This is what it says. The Netflix series tells the story of John Creasy, who Denzel played in Man on Fire, a broken ex-mercenary on a mission to avenge the death of his only friend while protecting his fallen comrade's daughter from the forces that destroyed her family. Yeah. And that's the thing. He did die at the end. But apparently that's not, I don't know. Maybe they just decided to kill him off and not make a series out of it or a franchise. And this was Tony Scott, Miss Tony Scott, dude. That guy made some movies, Tony and Ridley. I love a lot of their movies. Anyway, so I'll be perfectly clear with you here. I didn't know this was based on a book. I didn't know that this was based on a series. I don't know if John Creasy was supposed to die at the end of the movie. I don't know. Cole Hauser. Oh, dude. Cole Hauser would be, man. And I'll tell you, this is one of those weird things where, how like some people, even like I watched a video recently with it was with Jack Black, Charlie Day, and Keegan Michael Key, and they were playing Mario Kart with Jacksepticeye, and they're all talking about Mario, right? The Mario Brothers movie. And Jack Black said something along the lines of, let's be honest, I'm just Jack Black in this situation, in most movies that he does. And it was weird to hear an actor say that, but in a lot of ways, Denzel, to me, feels like, okay, what if Denzel Washington was a broken ex-mercenary on a mission to avenge the death? You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, that's his acting. In a lot of the movies that he chooses to do. But damn it, I love Denzel. I seriously love watching him. He's like, I can't, well, okay. I was going to say, I can't think of a movie that I didn't like him in. Didn't like Macbeth. I'm sorry. I did not like The Tragedy of Macbeth on Apple. The Apple TV Plus thing. Did not like it. But I really like Denzel Washington. So I'm interested. She lost her husband, Rob. Wait, she lost her husband, Rob. Died on their doorstep, so she stepped back. Died on her... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I don't know about died. I know that was probably a mistype, but... ever since I saw Cole Hauser in Pitch Black and Paparazzi, I was all, this dude can do action for sure. Oh, dude, Cole Hauser is one of those. To me, I was really kind of disappointed that when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, their careers took off, that Cole Hauser's didn't take. Casey's did for a while there. And then Casey got in, I guess, some trouble, or I'm not sure what happened with Casey. But yeah, they're all in Good Will Hunting. They're all friends in Good Will Hunting. And I was thinking, dude, Cole Hauser, he's going to be huge. Huge. Never happened. But he's great in Yellowstone. Man, is he good in Yellowstone. If you like Cole Hauser and you're not watching Yellowstone, you need to watch Yellowstone, okay? I'm serious. Yellowstone's good. Great and Glory, very underrated movie. I don't know if it's underrated, but it's definitely a good movie. I saw that movie in high school. They showed that to us in high school with the guy's head blowing up at the beginning. I mean, it's a rough movie, but man, it's so good. So good. Matthew Broderick, Morgan Freeman, right? Great movie. Great movie. But look, this could be amazing or it could be absolute trash. But I wanted to bring it up because, it is coming. And this is one of those things where, yes, Rob, are you violating your own rules by talking about something that's not currently on set right now? Because the thing is, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ideas. They're probably going to make another Chips movie. Someone somewhere is going, I know what we should do for Chips. Total reboot. Take the Chips universe, the Chips extended universe, and make a series of movies about Chips. Guarantee you, someone somewhere is thinking that right now. They're trying to get it. They're trying to get it going. Somebody's trying to make a Partridge Family remake. I don't know why I'm picking stuff from the 70s. Look, all I'm trying to say is there's a whole bunch of stuff that, a whole lot of ideas out there. The ideas that make it to set, those are the ideas that I typically get excited about. But I liked Man on Fire a lot. And I'm like, really? There's more story? Okay, cool. But anyway, the next thing on the list of things that I probably shouldn't get too excited about, but I can't help it because, and this is way far away from being on set. This is like concept stages, but I can't help it because it's X-Files. X-Files creator Chris Carter revealed that Ryan Coogler is working on a reboot of the TV series. This is what Chris Carter said. We're so steeped in conspiracies now The X-Files dealt with a central conspiracy, but now the world is so full of conspiracies that I think it would be a different show. Actually, I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who, let's just stop for a second and realize that Ryan Coogler is way more successful than Chris Carter ever was. But anyway, I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who's going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. So he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory. Look, I'm sorry, but I think Ryan Coogler is a fantastic director. Like, really, really good stuff. You can't look at the end of Black Panther and say, oh, this guy sucks. It really wasn't all his fault. I have loved every movie I've ever seen him do. So yeah, him taking one of my favorite series ever and possibly doing a reboot, I'm in. I'm sorry, I'm in. Because I love the X-Files. Now, part of it too, I will say, it's Duchovny, right? And Gillian Anderson. Both of them together were an amazing pairing. That is what needed. That's what they need. They need that kind of fire. But man, Christian VS, welcome. Welcome. So yeah, when I hear that they're going to do a remake or reboot it or whatever you want to say, I think what it should be is they're literally in the story. They're literally off doing whatever. And there's a new what do you call it? A new section of the FBI that's created. So all the characters we know from the series is gone, right? They're off doing whatever they're doing, whatever they're doing, however old they are, whatever they're doing, they're off doing whatever I don't know. These are new people, new agents, maybe a series of agents. I'm down. I'm totally down. And they pick it up and they're like, okay, what is all this? And they're going through some of this stuff and they're trying to, and then as they're looking into things, they start uncovering new things. It could be awesome. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It could be terrible. It could be absolutely terrible. But I think seriously, if you look at that first Creed movie, if you look at Creed 2, if you look at Black Panther, I've loved all those movies. Like, seriously love those movies. There's no reason why I couldn't see him doing something like this and just killing it. So far removed from Marvel and all that, right? I still haven't seen Wakanda Forever, but from what I hear, it's not the best, but he does a really good job considering what he was up against. Sounds like fun to me. I don't know. Okay, wait. Apparently, Natasha's husband had a massive heart attack as he reached home. Natasha found him sad, so she stepped back a bit. Makes sense. Max Payne 3 had a shit ton of copies at the store, like Max Payne 3. What? Max Payne 3 reminded me of Man on Fire. Oh. That rebooted season of X-Files sucked. Yeah, it had moments. It had moments of brilliance, but for the most part, it was, what are you doing right now? Nothing? All right, let's do some stuff. Cool. Let's step back into these old shoes and let's try to see what we can do here. It just didn't work. But like I said, if you could do it this way, where it's a continuation of the story, but a modern day with a modern, like they said, a diverse cast. I'm totally down for a diverse cast if you do it in a way that makes sense for the story. So, just saying. Loved X-Files. I'm Fox Mulder. Uh, okay, Rob. That could be something. Rob's got something. Two normal agents, non-believers, thrown into cases and discovering the X-Files and learning about Scully and Mulder. Yeah, that might work. Dude, I can see it. As soon as I saw this, I'm like, what? And then read it and I go, here's what I would do. And that's what I would do. I mean, you could even literally kill them off if you wanted to. And I know a lot of people hate that. Oh, why would you kill off the... I'm all for... Look, as long as it makes sense in the story, kill off every legacy character you want. I'm all for... I'll go down on the record right now, today, and say killing off Luke Skywalker in the way that they did made perfect sense for the story they were telling. Did. Prove me wrong. No, I'm not that kind of guy. But it's just one of those, that's truly what I believe. It wasn't just like, hey, remember this guy? Oh, well, he's not here anymore. It wasn't like that. He served a purpose and fulfilled the legacy that everyone thought he was. And inspired an entire generation of people afterward. Now, the problem is that the Rise of Skywalker took that information and said, nah. Because they're stupid. But the way that Last Jedi ended, you know how, like, you ever have to pee so bad that it kind of tingles when you're holding it? You're like, and you get little shoots of pain, and your nipples get hard a little bit. No, just me? No? Okay, imagine that. That's what I felt at the end of The Last Jedi. Rob, you lost me at shoots of pain in the... I'm just trying to say I enjoyed that. I think killing off Mulder and Scully completely off screen. Don't even have them on. Oh yeah, they're dead. They've been dead for years. Dude, what if the last season they were already dead? No. I don't know. I'm just trying to say there are definitely ways that you could do it. But it's all in the execution. Anyway. I probably lost everybody with the tingly PP thing. I was kidding. I don't even know. I was just trying to come up with crap. I met Max Payne 3 had a lot of copies at the store like Man on Fire. Gotcha. They need to pick up where Fox left off. What about Scully or Mulder being killed in the first episode and the other vanishing, and that could be a way in? Absolutely. Or even Skinner. Yep. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All I'm trying to say is, to me, The Last Jedi was that Luke fulfilled his legacy. What if they find out they're like, yeah, they're all like, I don't know. What are we doing here? Oh, I don't know. We're covering this trail from these two Nimrods who believed in, look at this. There's an I Want to Believe poster on them. What the hell's going on? And as they're, like you were saying, as they're getting into it, they realize, oh my God, he sacrificed himself for whatever. She sacrificed herself for whatever. I mean, I don't know what the story is, but yeah, there are definite ways to do it. And see, that's honestly, that right there, just that initial idea is probably the pitch that someone could go in and say, and they would go, I like it. Go write it. Go make it. What if they made it into a sitcom like Fresh Prince was made into a drama? I didn't watch. I mean, I saw what was it? A YouTube video, right? That kind of, you'll see yourself out. I mean, I saw the YouTube video based on the idea, right? And then they ended up taking that because got so much traction. They made a series out of it. I don't like the idea of making things too comical, although some of my favorite X-Files episodes were these one-offs where they were just being goofy and it was fun. Like the one with I can't even remember. But all I remember is that there's someone's telling the story, and there's one character in the story that's being told. He keeps saying bleep and everything. Man, that was a bleeping alien. Did you see that? You know, or something like that. And it was just funny. And I remember Fox coming up. He said, "Oh, the Lone Gunman. Oh, the Lone Gunman was fun. I enjoyed that series. I was like one of the few people that enjoyed that series. I think they are. I think they are dead. Yeah, because they killed him off in the regular X-Files show. I think. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that show. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. They ran out of ideas and they stretched everything to where it's like, okay, we need another season. What the hell are we gonna do now? He already found his sister, or he found his sister, then didn't find his sister, and then they're gonna kiss, and then they're not gonna kiss. Josh Chung, yes, from outer space. Yeah, that's the episode with the bleeping. Yes, and that one's just fun. It's dumb and it doesn't make any sense really for the rest of the series, but I like some of those episodes. Even like woo, now that is one day. Yeah. Yes, Game Chasers. Billy, welcome. Yeah, there's uh spoiler, his sister dead. I mean, spoiler for oh my god, that series is almost 30 years old now. It premiered in 95, right? People of Earth was onto something but got canceled after one season. People of Earth. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, there's I would enjoy a reboot. Oh, sitcom. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big sitcom guy. So I wouldn't personally, but then again, if there was a market for it and there's money to be made, those studios will definitely do it. It's just not something that I would be into. But I'm not really in anyone's, what do you call that? Demographic. Like, I'm in a demographic that most advertisers don't give a shit about. That's just the way it works. They don't care about what a 47-year-old white man thinks. Holy crap, I'm going to be 47 in 2 days. That's crazy, man. But the good news is I'm very close with the script. And then I'll be sending it over to Billy and Jay and possibly Melvor, and then see what we can do. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited. And I need to finish it. But guys, my throat is killing me. So I'm a fan of the original series. It overstayed its welcome. Absolutely. Brie Larson doesn't care what Rob or me thinks. I'll tell you what, I'm sick of Brie Larson, not because of her attitude or any interviews she's done or anything like that. I'm sick of seeing those Nissan commercials because they're everywhere. They're on Twitch. They're on YouTube. They're on the UFC when I'm watching ESPN. Hate it. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out on my pre-birthday. And yeah, we'll talk next week. And while we do more things and say more things. I'm going to try, dude, I'm sticking with the cake batter until not, but we'll see. It's a little medicine-y. I'm just going to say it's a little medicine-y. But I thank you anyway for voting. Because you know what happens when you don't vote. You don't get to vote. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. See her talk on 47-year-old white dude speech. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I kind of understand what she was saying there. Is that bad? Anyway. Y'all have a great night. Y'all have a great week. Maybe, maybe I'll go see a movie. Maybe I'll go see John Wick 4 since I still haven't seen it yet. Or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do Thursday. But y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Bye.